So maybe you've always wanted to stay in a bungalow over the water, but have you ever considered doing it with your toddler? Maybe we're crazy, but we are choosing to live in this 1-bedroom cabin as a family of 3 in Raja Ampat, Indonesia, on a remote island for 4 months, as my husband does coral and fish research here for his PhD. I'm sharing all about our family adventures here on this YouTube channel, and today I want to give you guys a little tour of our very messy home on water. I did not clean up, so you can see it as it actually is. Also, we live here in a village, and as you can probably hear, there's some construction going on because they're building some houses right across the way and behind us. More cabins just like this one, homestays for other tourists to stay in, so you're probably gonna hear some noise throughout this video. Let's start with the walk from the beach, from the shore, to our little cabin. Back home in British Columbia, we like to go camping and backpacking with our toddler, so I feel like that has served as sort of a preparation for us for this trip, for some of the challenges at least, even though it's very, very different. The most magical thing about staying in a place like this is you're basically outside all the time. We sleep with the sounds of the sea waves, and at night, when the moon isn't too bright, we can see an infinite amount of stars. More stars than I've ever seen in my entire life. It's insane. So yes, these are some of the other cabins being built here. These are called homestays, which is the cheap option for visiting this beautiful region of the world. I say cheap in quotes because even though it's fairly simple accommodations, it's still not cheap for Southeast Asia. But this region, the Raja Ampat Islands, an archipelago of islands off of West Papua, is a diving and snorkeling paradise and one of the most biodiverse hotspots on Earth. This is why Phil is doing his research here. This is our front deck where we relax, eat, and live. We've put this towel here to block the sun because a lot of times we work at the desk here and we just can't have the sun straight in our eyes. Our hammock, which is amazing during Dory's naps when we just want to chill. Take this down here and read. The pace of life is much slower here than back home. The only form of transportation here is by boat. There are no cars or motorcycles or anything like that. You either walk everywhere on the island or you take a boat. It's generally pretty quiet here, except for the typical sounds of a small village. There are about 200 people living on this island, so you can hear lots of little kids playing all the time. The sound of hammering, of course, as they build more homestays. Oh, hello, baby.
No, I want.
It's a vitamin.
I want the.
There's only a few left. Only C's left. Eee, what do you say? You're welcome. Love you. Our house is mostly made of wood. We had a storm a couple of weeks ago and it held up fine, although water did come in one side of it and get some of our stuff wet. But we've been here a few weeks now, about a month, and we've only had one day of rain. It's just one room, so we have our mattress on the floor here, our mosquito net. The mosquitoes actually don't seem to be too bad out here on the water, but closer to land where we have our meals and where the bathrooms are is where they seem to bite us the most, in the morning and in the evening. It doesn't look like it at all, but our stuff is somewhat organized. It gets disorganized really quickly because that's the nature of living in a one-room cabin with a 2-year-old. We try to keep snacks and Dory's powdered milk in a dry bag because there are mice that will get into it and other creatures. Dory has really, really minimal toys here because we just couldn't carry a bunch of toys with us. Basically, he plays with his blocks. These magnetic blocks that we've had for like 6 or 7 months, he's obsessed with. He colors. He has a busy bag of like crafts, basically like stickers and paper, Play-Doh, some random little things that will fit into this bag. I made a video about our busy bag if you're interested. And that's it, really. Odds and ends that we've bought, like little balls. The kids here are very not materialistic. It's incredible, and so I'm hoping that Dory will pick that up from them. That's the hope. We also brought some posters from the city, from the big city of Sarong, with us when we went to visit the city a couple weeks ago. We took a break off island and got some things, including these posters. This is our fan. It is essential because it is so extremely hot and humid here. Dory would absolutely melt during his afternoon nap without it. The generator power is usually turned completely off for a few hours in the morning, but we have it for the rest of the day and night, so we have plenty of time to charge all of our electronics. You can see our stroller hanging up here, which we haven't touched since the day we arrived in Indonesia. It's an island, it's covered in sand. There's no cars, there's no roads, there's no sidewalks, so no need for a stroller. Dory has his tablet here, which I've talked about in some of my other videos on this channel. We have this rule where we would only ever let him use it in transit before, but we have bent this rule so much on this travel experience here. It's basically like our TV here. So our current rule is that he's not allowed to play any games while he's at home, just to watch things. He basically watches these two shows, Number Blocks and Bluey. It's letting me make this video right now. Sometimes the sun is so hot here, it is just baking, that all we can really do is just sit still, not use too much energy, read, and watch cartoons. We have 4G on our phones here, and we bought Indonesian SIM cards right away, right when we arrived, and a data plan, which is actually much cheaper than our plan back in Canada. Fun fact, Canada has some of the most expensive data and phone plans, internet plans in the entire world. We forever have wet clothes hanging all over the place. They dry super quickly, but still. We fully expected to be doing laundry by hand here, but our homestay actually has a washing machine. It's not advertised, but we're staying here so long that they're being very generous and letting us use it. As you can probably imagine, this whole separate bathroom thing and living over the water is tricky with a potty training toddler, to say the least. We brought a lot of diapers with us traveling and actually bought more here in the city of Sorong before coming to Raja Ampat. But we don't feel great about contributing to the trash situation here. They burn their trash. So we're really trying to leave him diaper free as much as possible. That's what the kids here seem to do as well. And potty train. But we just started and it's really challenging, and those of you who have potty trained a baby or a toddler before know that it takes a long time, or for most babies it takes a long time. We also have some reusable cloth diapers with us, but that's not exactly ideal either because we don't have the perfect laundry situation. So we're figuring things out as we go. I'm thinking I'm gonna make a video just on how we're potty training while traveling because I'm still sort of in the thick of it, and maybe I can offer some more concrete advice, or I can just tell you all of the issues that I've had and help somebody else out there who's in the middle of this too. Potty training while not at home or potty training on the go is just gonna be a difficult experience, I think. These are our bathrooms here, which Phil tells me are the nicest out of all the island homestays here. This is like his 5th time in Raja Ampat. I've been here once before, but this is both of our first times here with our son. So we would never ever be able to make it this whole walk to the bathroom with a potty training toddler at this stage. Here you have your typical island mandi, as they're called in Indonesia, which is essentially a bucket shower. You take water from the big bucket with a little bucket and you pour it over your head and your body. This place, like I said, is fancier than most, and it actually has a shower head as well.
Wow.
And I fully expected to be toilet training Dory on squat toilets, which is what we're used to on our previous trips to Indonesia. But look, here we have toilets and they even flush. When visiting Indonesia, remember not to flush your toilet paper because the plumbing can't handle it. Your toilet paper goes in a little trash can, or you can do it the Indonesian way and use the squirt gun. You know who likes to use the squirt gun? Toddlers. This is the area where we eat our meals. Homestays provide 3 meals a day, usually lots of rice and fish, and quite often cake for breakfast, which again makes the toddlers happy. I still haven't figured out if this is what Indonesians actually eat for breakfast or if this is what they think foreigners eat for breakfast. Either way, Dory really appreciates it. Let me know in the comments if you would stay in a place like this with your family for months on end, and let me know what else you'd like to see about our lives here in Raja Ampat. We have a bit of a nightly ritual going now where I go snorkeling as the sun is setting and Phil takes Dory, so I'm about to go do that right now.